Guys, it's Stormclawed. Just gonna be playing some Rocket League today. I was actually gonna talk about something a bit closer to home for me. So it's actually, I guess, something that affected me pretty greatly, especially early on in my muscle condition. And it's something I actually have done for quite a while now. I want to talk about my experience with No Fap. So if you're not familiar with what No Fap is, basically what it is you don't do any porn or any masturbation at all. And the idea of this is that basically, your brain on porn isn't very good. It actually really can negatively affect your mindset. And in certain cases, like mine, you can actually get addicted to it. It becomes something that's just completely, I guess, consumes your mind in a way, is the best way I can put it for what happened to me. And there's no doubt in my mind, from my experience, that it can definitely be an addiction, because it was pretty bad. Like, even trying to fix it was pretty bad. Like, even now, it's kind of one of those things where I know I beat it, but it's still one of those things that pops up every now and then, and I have to continually just kind of go, no, like, that's not me, sort of thing. I guess the best way I can put it is Sherlock Holmes said it best in Elementary, when he said addiction is like a leaky tap, where once it's broken, it never stops leaking, and you just have to be happy with the fact that it doesn't leak all the time anymore. And I guess that's where I'm at now, where I'm just happy that it doesn't leak all the time anymore. But I guess I should talk about where it all started, you know? So it started off with my muscle condition where that got really bad. And then that like meant that I couldn't work or study, so there's a lot more time where I'm just kind of doing nothing throughout the day. And then, of course, you know, what are you gonna do as a young man addicted to porn when you've got nothing to do throughout the day? Then it kind of became a really bad habit for me, where it's just pretty much just way too much, and it's already bad in itself in a low dose, and then you add in it, like, you do it a lot, and it's just really, really bad for you. It's something I've never really, I don't know, I've only really recently wanted to talk about it. It's something that's like happened to me a while ago, but it's just something I don't really, I don't know, I'm not 100% comfortable on it yet, but I do want to talk about it because with my YouTube, I've got you guys viewing it, and I just want to get out kind of the message as to what can happen. Like, porn addiction is a very real thing. I want to, like, there's no doubt in my mind, it's very real. Like, if you go to communities like No Fap, there's other places online, like, there are a lot of people suffering from it. Like, you can see it. That's what I see. And that's why I kind of really want to change it if I can. If I can help fix that, that's, like, ideal for me. Because I know how horrible it was for me. And in an ideal world, I don't want anyone to have to go through what I went through, because it wasn't fun. It was really not fun at all. Sorry, I just woke up. I kind of get a bit nausea when I wake up, so at the moment anyway. It's not always all the time, it's just at the moment. But I kind of wanted to just, I guess, spread my message as to what kind of happened to me, so that, you know, if you've had a similar problem, you might be able to relate to it, or maybe it can help you. Or maybe you just think I'm absolutely stupid and porn's fine. I mean, a lot of people kind of say that to me. They'll say you you don't need to do that. Like, there's nothing wrong with porn. But I know in my mind there is absolutely everything wrong with porn. I know from when I first started watching it when I was younger. Like, I feel like it's pretty much impossible to avoid it, right? Like, I think it's impossible in today's day and age to actually avoid watching porn. And the main reason I think this is because it's so common for us young guys, where it's just you basically get introduced to it by a friend and then all your friends are doing it, so it's like it's the normal. But I really dislike that it's the normal. It should not be the normal in any way, shape or form. It's such a horrible thing that it's the normal. But what can you do about it? I guess you just have to fight it. So for a lot of for a lot of guys, they just don't even know the potential risks, I guess, is like the big thing. Oh, I missed it. They don't even know the potential risks of what it can do. I mean, I never knew when I first started. I thought it was just something that everyone did and there was nothing wrong with it. So then how do you eventually figure out that there's actually stuff wrong with it? It's really hard. Like, nobody tells you this. I mean, everyone just thinks it's kind of okay. It's kind of become such a social norm that it's considered okay, which is horrible because it's really not. With what it does to you, it's really, really not. But I can tell you from the start, it kind of changes your perception of people, especially women. If you're into, I mean, it's gonna change the perception of whoever you're attracted to, right? Because that's who you, like, the gender you're probably gonna be watching. But it changes the perception of that. It changes it to a more sexualized object, sort of. It changes it more to a sort of sexualized object sort of thing, as opposed to a actual person, which is what they are. They're not just sex objects, which is what kind of porn does to your brain. It makes you think that people are just sex objects, I guess, from my experience. And it's really horrible because it means you don't really connect with those people. Even like, I'd say that it was like females as well as other males. Like I just didn't connect with them properly because of it. Like it affects your whole sort of mental headspace. And I can see now from, you know, when I first started doing it to when I stopped, that there was like, even when I first started, there was instant changes in my mind. And that's stuff that you don't really want. Like you don't want those changes. So it's kind of, it's definitely something I see being a big issue. I don't know how you can really stop it from happening to young people except to really educate them about it, because it's just starting to happen younger and younger, and the sooner you get into it, the worse it's going to be when you try to get out of it. Like, from my experiences on No Fap, because I used to go there a lot, because it was good to just see, I guess, the community of people who are also struggling with the same thing that I guess I'd struggled with. Like, it's really a big deal to see that other people kind of had the same problem or have the same problem. And from that community, like, the longer you do it, like there are 40-year-old guys on there trying to fix it and stuff, and the longer you do it, the harder it is, and also probably the worse that your, I guess, what the porn has done to you is going to be too, because if you've done it for longer, what's tend to happen with porn is, there was actually a comedian who did a really good video on this, is, basically what tends to happen is, like your fetishes keep getting like worse and worse, right? Like they just keep getting more, I guess, is the best way I can put it. I don't know, it's hard to say. Generally, basically, you'd start off with something really basic. Like you might start off with just like watching masturbation or something, and then it'll just keep kind of growing and growing and growing until you're into, you know, stuff that you probably won't even be into at all if it wasn't for porn. And the reason for this is your brain, when you're watching porn, there's so much to watch. Like, there's probably so much porn out there that one person wouldn't even be able to watch it in their lifetime. Like, honestly. There is so much porn out there, you would not be able to watch it. And that's kind of the problem, is it's kind of like a literal buffet of partners in a way. Because the way that your brain sees it is it relates orgasm with a partner. And then, because that happens, basically, because you're always doing it with porn, it basically starts viewing porn as a partner. And porn is probably one of the most ruthless partners you could ever have. It's something you really don't want. I can tell you this from personal experience, it's definitely something that's really bad. You don't want to get to the point that I got to. It's just horrible. Like, it's bad for your brain, it's bad for your social life, it's bad for everything. It just kind of ruins you. Because what it does is it forces your dopamine receptors into overdrive. They stop reacting to normal things. So normal things that would usually make you happy just don't make you happy. Basic things in life, like, you know, just having a nice evening out with your friends, you'd rather just sit at home and watch porn. It just becomes such a big thing that it takes over in a way. And it's really hard to stop too. But I'm sorry if I'm kind of like going everywhere with this, but it's kind of just how I am when I talk. That's why it's kind of going to be a longer video. But I do want to just get to the topic. I don't have anything written down, so I don't really have like an order of events or anything like that, but I do want to talk about it because I think it's really important. I know a lot of guys have struggled with it. There's actually been some of my friends who have talked to about it, and they've kind of changed the habit, and they feel a lot better for it now. But I know it definitely does help. And I guess maybe I'll give some advice for kind of how to change the habit in the first place. So for a lot of the time, it's you know, it's got to be a real change in your mindset. Like, you can't be half-assed about it. Like, it can't be like, why'd that dude have to save that? It can't be, oh, I kind of want to do it, but I don't know, or just something like that. It has to be like a full commitment from you, because otherwise it's just not going to change anything. Because for me, I mean, especially if you're really into it, it's going to be worse, right? Like, changing it is way harder. basically. Oh, Brady nearly got that. But changing is way harder the more into it you are, essentially, because your brain's more connected to it. And that's kind of the problem, is your brain gets so connected to it that it's hard to stop it. Like, I know for me, like, there'd be days where I'm literally just, it's just all you could think about as you're trying to quit it, because it's just such a thing in your, oh, I messed that up. I kind of want to go, have it go along the ground, but then I messed it up. But it's kind of something that you just think about so much, and then it's hard to stop it, basically. And I tell you what, like, some of the shit I had to deal with to try and get out of it is so bad. But honestly, I was actually, I think, nearly suicidal at a point just from it. Like, it really wrecked me. There's no doubt in my mind that my bad mindset was cause of porn. Like, as soon as I changed that, as soon as I fixed my habits, is when I started to become, I guess, myself again. Because one of the things I found with porn is I started feeling kind of like a shadow of myself. I didn't feel like myself, and that's something that's really not fun. Like, you don't want to not feel like yourself, because what I found it did is, if you ever have those times where you just like randomly just really mad at something, or you just react, like overreact, you just overreact a lot to something, or you'll say something that you wouldn't usually say. It's probably because of porn, to be honest, because that's kind of what it does. It just kind of takes over your brain space. And I mean, for me, the worst that I did was so this was when I was really bad. I called my sister a slut, and I would never say that ever. Like, I don't even know why I said it in the moment. Like, in the moment, I thought, you know, why are you saying this? You would never say this sort of thing. And then I just said it. Like, my brain's like, nah, say it. And it's like, why would I ever say that? Like, it's horrible. I actually feel like a horrible person from saying that. Like, honestly, I'm so sad that I said that to her. Like, it's I it honestly makes me want to cry that I said that to my sister, because I love my sister. I don't want to say that to my sister. Like, that's not something you say to someone you like. Like, oh my god, it's so bad. And it's so not me either. Like, that is definitely not something I would do. And I know that. Like, I know now that I've changed that it's not something I would do. I guess this is where the shadow of yourself kind of kicks in. Like, this is definitely something that, like, it felt like the shadow of myself would do. Like, it's not me. And that's why I'm definitely glad that I've changed my habits, because I would never want to say something like that ever again. Like, that's horrible. Oh, shit. But I have apologized to my sister since then. She knows that I was kind of in a bad headspace, and she's a lot happier with me now, and we're not kind of, that was like a one-off thing, and I'm still so shocked at myself in a way that I actually did that, like, because I know that's not something I would do, which is really, I can only attribute it to my porn addiction, that that even happened. And it's such a horrible thing too. Like, it's still something that just, I hate that I said it. Like, if I could, there's so many things in my life that if I could take back, I would. And that's definitely one of those things. I mean, probably one of the main things is like, even not even doing porn in the first place. Because I could tell, like, if I look back at my high school life, from the stuff that I actually do remember with my adult memory, because my memory's not that great, um, you know, it's kind of, I feel like it affected a lot of my social life. It affected, you know, the girls I talked to, and it affected like my guy friends as well. Like, it affected everything. I don't think there's anything it didn't really affect. So it's kind of one of those things where I think there's, it takes over everything, and it kind of doesn't let you be yourself. It just puts you as a shell of yourself, which is not what you want. So I guess maybe now I could talk about kind of how I fixed it, I guess might be a good thing. Basically what I found I had from it is I had quite severe depression, I guess. Um, I mean, I don't really know how bad it was, because I was kind of delusional at the same time. Because what porn does is it actually alters your reality in a way. And I was also underweight at the time, so my brain wasn't working properly. So I actually say I'm kind of... okay. We're just going to do some in-house too. I'll actually say it kind of made me a bit delusional in a way too. And it took a lot to get out of that. It's really you have to break the habit, and you have to want to break the habit. Otherwise, it's not going to break. It has to be a wholehearted effort. So for me, I actually didn't masturbate for 2 whole years to help me cure myself from this. So I have actually been able to masturbate recently. It was mostly because I found that my balls hurt and I needed to. Otherwise, it was just going to be like I don't want to end up in hospital from something like this. So it's a lot different now, though. It's not focused on kind of the porn side of things. Like if I were to have done that, earlier on, it probably would have still been focused on the porn side of things, which is what you want to try and avoid essentially. Like that's the thing that you really want to kick out. So that's kind of why going cold turkey is really the only way I think it really works. Like a lot of other people have said, like going cold turkey is really the only way as well. So what that means is literally no porn, no masturbation at all. Just none at all. You have to completely stop it. So what's gonna happen then if you actually do that is you're gonna get a lot of urges, because especially if you do it on a daily basis, like it's so in your kind of muscle memory in a way that your brain will want it like really badly. Your brain will think it needs it, which it really doesn't. Like it does not need this, right? What your brain actually, I guess, wants and needs for most people is to have a healthy, happy relationship with someone they really care about. Which isn't a relationship with porn, essentially. For me, I did a lot of exercise, so I started putting myself into an exercise regime because I don't have a job. I still can't work at the moment. I'm trying to figure out stuff I can do with regards to my muscle condition and what I could do for work. I think I may have actually found something recently, but I'll have to basically just figure out if I'll know more about that next week. But what I did was just kind of created myself an exercise regime. So I just did walking every morning. So all I did was walk. I just went for a walk, and sometimes just taking that time out for yourself is really all you needed, because it helps you to like put it in your brain like I'm not gonna watch porn, like it's just not gonna happen sort of thing. It helps you to think about it a bit more, which is really what you want. I also did meditation. Meditation really helps because then you can start trying to get in control of your brain, really is the big one. Basically the main goal, if you try and reboot, is to get in control of your brain, because that's what you're not in control of. It's really hard too. Like I can't put into words how hard it is. Like it took me a lot of time to figure out that. A lot of time to figure out how to kind of manage it in a better way, because it's really hard to manage it at first. It just takes away from kind of everything that you do. It's kind of always there too. Like it's really hard when you first start going cold turkey to kind of stop thinking about it, I found, for me. And then it was a lot of the meditation and walking was purely just to kind of distract myself from it, so that it would be time that I'm hopefully not thinking about it. I also tried to change my demeanor, so I was a very kind of, I guess, negative mindset in a way. So a lot of it was also trying to change that, so it wasn't so just plain negative, because that's really not what you want. You don't want to have a massively negative mindset. So one of the things I did was when I went for my walks, I would try and oops, I missed that. I would try and talk to people. So I actually have friends now from where I walk to. So I walk to an oval down my street, and I've actually got friends that go walking there and I talk to quite a bit. And that was definitely like a big part of it for me, I think, is actually connecting with people, because that's something that kind of really gets taken away when you're addicted to porn. You don't really connect with people properly, I think, is like a big thing, because you're so connected to like this kind of computer relationship in a way. Oops. And that was something that's really big for me, I found, is actually connecting to people. It was a pretty awesome feeling. Like I remember there was one time where as I was getting better, there was like this, I don't know if you guys know what the big issue is, but it's basically like a magazine that people who are a bit less fortunate sell, and they'll just sell it around Australia I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's not just in South Australia, but I'm pretty sure it's all over Australia. And there was a guy, he you know, as I was getting better, I would actually smile at people more. I kind of just, even if I didn't feel happy, I kind of just tried to force myself to think I'm happy, because one of the things with porn is you kind of not happy. So one of the things I did was like just force myself to feel happy, even if I was just pretending to smile. Like, it was just important for me to do that, and I can't really explain why that helped, but I just know it did. Like, even just pretending to smile helped. So, like, it's hard to, I guess, kind of understand that even for me as to why that would help, but I know it definitely did. I think maybe it's just like getting it in your brain that you can be happy is maybe the thing. But basically, you know, I kind of smiled at him, and he actually, you know, said hello to me as I was walking past. Like, I wasn't talking to him or anything. I was kind of going off to get a haircut, and he just said hello, you know, hope you have a nice day or something like that. Like, I don't even remember what he said. It was just kind of something really basic. Just him basically being nice to me in a way. And then I went and got my hair cut, and I had a bunch of change in my wallet, so I didn't really want the magazine. Like, it doesn't really interest me. Even now, I don't really want the magazine, but I do talk to him quite a bit now. But basically, what kind of what kind of happened was, as I came back, I just thought, you know, I want to give this guy some money. Like, I want him to be able to get some lunch or something. I just thought that to myself. So I gave him, I think I had like $10 in my wallet. It wasn't very much, but I just gave him $10 and then kind of had a chat to him. And then, you know, he's saying like, oh, you're so nice. Like, you're not like the young people your age at all. Like, all the young people your age are just like, they don't even look at me. They don't even see me as a person and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, yep, that's like, that sounds a lot like porn addiction and what people my age are like. Like, honestly, I'm really worried about the younger generation, because apparently they're getting into it really young, and getting into it at that age is going to be horrible. But yeah, I gave him my $10 and had a chat to him, and then I just remember thinking, like, it's so different to how I had been recently, and it deeply affected me emotionally to actually, I guess, connect with someone like that in a way. Like, I just hadn't connected with anyone in a way where I was just being nice to them for kind of no reason. And that was, I guess, really, really special to me that I could do that, because it'd been a while since I'd actually, I guess, done something like that, which is bad, because I feel like I like being a nice person. I like being happy. I like giving to other people. And then I feel like the porn addiction kind of took away from all of that. So I gave my $10 to this guy, and then as I was walking home, it was kind of drizzling a bit, which I think is perfectly fitting. It was kind of drizzling, really kind of wet day, and I'm just walking home trying not to burst into tears, because I'm just so, like, I guess, overwhelmed with emotions. Because kind of what happened with the porn and the depression and all that was I kind of put my emotions in a box and just said, like, I don't feel emotions. Like, that was kind of the easier way to deal with it. But by doing that, I kind of wrecked myself. Like, I honestly did just wreck myself by doing that. Oh, nice shot. But it's definitely not something I would recommend, because we're not emotionless beings. We're human beings. We have emotions, and I mean, unless you're a sociopath, they're there. You can't really stop them. They're just always going to be there. So for me, it was kind of, I was walking home, just trying not to cry. Like, that was the big thing, because I was so overwhelmed by all my emotions, because he was so thankful just for $10. Like, it wasn't even a massive amount of money. It was like a tiny amount. But he was so thankful for just $10, and then it just really cut me up that he felt so, I guess, grateful about that. Because it really put into perspective kind of what I should be grateful about. And you know, when I got home, I just completely burst into tears. There was nothing else for it. I was just crying my eyes out. But I honestly am really glad that I had that experience, because it was part of me healing myself. Like, I think it was really important for me to fix myself in that way. Oh, I missed that. I'm sad. I saw it coming, I just missed it. But I think it was really important for me that I was able to fix myself in that way. But it took a long time for me to be able to do that. Um, and part of it was also going to the Oval, having friends there. I mean, I remember one time there's this lady there, and she said something like, your strength is inspirational or something like that. And I'm just thinking like, oh, you're always so positive or something like that. It was just like, it was just so not how I felt that I'm like, because it was kind of at the time where I still had that, I was just smiling to try and pretend I'm happy, and it was kind of at that time, and she said that to me, and it kind of, oh, nearly ready. It kind of really got me. Like, it's something where I remember thinking at the time, like, I really don't feel like I'm like that, but I'm really happy that she kind of said that in a way too, because it kind of meant that at least even if I wasn't like that, at least me pretending was becoming like that, which is really kind of, it's a weird one, really weird, but I'm still really happy that I kind of had those sorts of comments, because it was so much better than what I'd used to have. Like, what I used to have was just a lot of negativity, and people, wouldn't really say things like that to me. So I'm really happy that I was able to change it in such a positive way to actually make people want to comment that they think I'm like, strong or something like that, or just because she said it was inspiring that I could have my muscle condition and still stay positive. And it's kind of like, considering how negative I'd been, that sort of comment just meant a ton. Like, I can't put into words how much that comment meant to me at the time. It was really, really, it was such a nice comment to receive, I guess, is the way I want to put it. Like, I was really happy to receive a comment like that. But yeah, so I had my friends at the Oval. They definitely helped me a lot. Just being able to walk up there, talk to some people, just because they didn't know how negative I'd been. They only knew like kind of the new me, even if it was a fake me, like I didn't feel like myself yet. Even if I wasn't quite myself yet, it was still a better me than I had been. So that's kind of one of the big things for me. Even if I felt kind of fake, it definitely helped me to just get outside and actually just talk to people, actually interact as a normal person, because I just hadn't done that. I'd kind of been, I guess, a negative recluse. That's what I could call it. Uh-oh. Being a negative recluse, it's kind of like, what do you do with yourself? So that was just a really big thing for me. So I guess really try and, if you want to break it, really try and focus on positives. Just really work on just breaking the habit. That's the big thing, because that's what's going to help you. Oh, I missed that, I think. Brady might get it though. Oh. Yeah, it'll probably, if you want to change it, it probably will take a while to be able to change it, but definitely something from my experience you can change, and it's definitely worthwhile to change. Like, honestly, I think, like, if any of you out there are like watching porn and have things in your mindset you like just don't think are you, I'd really recommend just try stopping watching it, because it's really bad for you. Like, really, really bad. I can't put into words how bad it can be. Like, it honestly scares me how bad I was sometimes. Like, honestly, I think I was probably close to being suicidal, which is definitely not me at all. Like, I am not a suicidal person. Like, that is not me. But I was close to it, which is really scary in a way, because that's obviously not what you want. Like, you don't want to be having those sorts of thoughts. You don't want to be thinking that sort of way. It's just really not good for you. Like, it's really not good for you, I guess, emotionally, physically, like all those things. It really just affects you very negatively. So, just really try and change it. And I guess if you really want to change it, you'll see the results. That's just kind of how I view it. How did he sneak that past me? Sneaky little M. Well, I got no boost. But I guess that's kind of that part of it. So then what kind of happened when it eventually changed? So eventually I started feeling a lot better. It was kind of a big shock one day where it just kind of You know, it was constantly a thought of like, I kept going because my main thought was, I just want to be myself. That was like my big thought, is I'm constantly thinking like, I just want to get back to being myself because I felt like I wasn't. And it was kind of a big mental shift to then swap it over to thinking, I am myself. Like I'm not, because I just kind of woke up one day and it just felt right. Like I just felt like I'm back to myself, and like I could tell instantly. Like I'd have family members saying like, you look so much happier and stuff like that. Just positive stuff basically. Like I was looking better and stuff like that. So I was really happy to get those sorts of comments because they do mean a lot to me to be able to get those sorts of comments in the first place. Um, how did this go? Oh, nice shot. But so that definitely meant a lot to me. It was a big shift too, because I just wasn't the person I had been, which was really good because I didn't want to be the person I had been. So I got to kind of change up how I was, in a way. And it was just a really good experience to get back to myself, honestly. I don't have kind of... It's one of my happiest memories when I came back to myself, really. You're behind me, he wants to bump me. That's kind of one of my happiest moments, I guess, especially in like recent memory. It's just actually getting back to myself. So honestly, if you want to change it, definitely try, I think, because it's very rewarding and you can do it. Like I think everyone is capable of so much more than they think they're capable. Everyone is capable of so much more than they think they're capable of. It just takes willpower. So, for me it was just kind of every day just kind of working just working on my willpower, making sure that I'm, that little bit stronger day by day. Just making myself that little bit better. And it took a long time, but eventually I figured it out and I figured myself out. And I'm definitely very thankful that I put the time and effort into doing this too, because I think it was well worth it. Like, I wouldn't trade anything for changing it now. Like, there's nothing in my life I would change. It's just awesome that I was able to change it. That's a good shot. But it just takes a lot of effort and a lot of willpower. Like, every single day, it's kind of a thing where you have to think about it. Like, I found going to No Fap was really helpful, doing stuff like that, because it's kind of how I helped change it. Because it's just other people who are kind of going through the same thing you are, and you can kind of relate to them in a way. Like, a lot of them now, like, I can kind of go on there and it's just like, you're so far behind me that it's not even funny. Because like, a lot of them are just stuck. Like, so many people just get stuck at the first point, which is like just trying to quit in the first place, because they just don't go cold turkey. They just don't stop, basically, and that just, what I think really affects them negatively is they can't go cold turkey and they don't stop, and then they don't go cold turkey, they don't stop, and they just struggle to really ever break the habit in a way. And that's one of the things I definitely recommend if you actually want to break this habit, is you have to go fully cold turkey. I'll actually link something in the description, which is a website that kind of helps. There's also some like TED Talks. There's a TED Talk I might link as well, which I found definitely helped. It kind of puts it all into perspective. There's a lot of TED Talks out there too. There was one where it's like a mother was talking about the effects of it, not more about the effects of it on the guy watching it, but more about the women who are kind of involved in it. So that was like one of the big things for me as well, is actually thinking about the girls who it affects. Like, think about it from the point of view of that girl you're watching in a way as well. Like, I've actually watched some movies kind of more in recent time, more about how it affected the lives of the young women who are kind of involved in it, more than just the people trying to, quit it or something like that. Like, it actually really greatly affects families, friends, like everything. It can kind of break down a lot of relationships for those girls, which isn't nice. Like, they don't deserve that sort of thing. I know they put it on themselves, but I still feel sorry for them. They don't deserve to have that sort of, I guess, experience. They don't deserve to feel like they're worthless or just like dirty or whatever it is they feel. They don't deserve that, and neither do their friends and family. So I guess one of the big things as well for me was starting to think about it in a way that's like, it's not all about you behind your computer screen. It's also about the person who's actually the one who got filmed to be behind your computer screen. Like, so many things that kind of go into it. But anyway, guys, I'll probably call that video after this game. I think I've talked enough about it. I can't really think of anything else I really want to kind of touch on. I just really wanted to talk about this because I don't know, I've wanted to do it for a while, but I just hadn't felt, I guess, confident enough to do it, was the big thing. But now that I've got that that confidence to do it, I'm really happy that I actually was able to talk about it. I hope, you know, if you've had something like this or you have it affecting you, I hope this can help you. If it doesn't, I mean, you can just call me a loony. You can say it doesn't do anything. I mean, a lot of people already say that to me. So, you know, it's whatever to me. But I'm just glad that it is whatever to me, because it used to affect me a lot more. And now I'm a lot happier person, and I'm really glad that I did kind of change my ways, because it definitely did help me a lot. But anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. This video is really close to home for me. If you have any questions, just ask them in the comments. I'll try and get back to you. I mean, I probably will. I don't get that many comments. I'll get back to you for sure. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this helps you, and I'll catch you next time.